I'm sure you've all heard the news today about the rumours concerning Rory McIlroy, one of the world's best golfers who has until this point remained loyal to the PGA Tour rather than selecting to go where many of his former colleagues went, and that is to the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Tour, described as a rebel tour, a bit of a breakaway tour. Now, the LIV Golf circuit is backed by Saudi Arabia's investment fund. Rory chose to stay loyal to the PGA, along with a number of other golfers, including Tiger Woods, and a lot of his discussion focused on human rights values. What we've seen today, if the rumours prove to be true, is that everybody does have their price, and Rory is prepared to give up on those human rights values for the price of $1.3 billion, Australian dollars, which is rumoured to be the figure that is being floated around to get his signature on the dotted line. But I want to raise another aspect to this discussion, and it's one that involves a bit of a hesitancy on my part to ever describe athletes as role models because of this very scenario. Rory McIlroy is a professional athlete. That means in his own right, he is a business. We are asking athletes all around the world to stand up for human rights values that we say we believe in. But how hypocritical are we? Do we hold ourselves to that very same value that we ask athletes to be accountable to? Whether they're going to play at the FIFA World Cup, whether they are going to compete at the Olympic Games, or whether they are in fact golfers looking at switching from the PGA Tour to LIV. And the reason I say we need to be wary of being hypocritical instead of very quickly throwing it in the direction of professional athletes is that any given day we hand our money over to companies or businesses that provide goods or services, no matter what we buy. Do we know what the human rights values of those companies are from whom we're buying goods and services? Do we challenge ourselves to find out what that company stands for? And do they support human rights? Do they, really make sure that their whole line of productivity is based around the best human rights standards? Because I would argue that most of us do not. And most of us don't hold ourselves to the level of accountability that we expect from professional athletes. And so before we start calling Rory McIlroy hypocritical for what he's done, and of course it can be argued as that should he sign with LIV, but we need to be wary that we're not being hypocritical ourselves and judging these athletes in a very different way to we do judge ourselves and the sorts of standards we hold ourselves to. Remember, he's got a finite amount of time to produce his product, which is to play golf at the highest level. So he's making a business decision. And at that level, professional athletes are in fact business entities. And we need to look at them in that regard and judge them in the same way that we judge any other business. So it's a complex scenario. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just saying that these are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, and I guess in the way that we frame the way we look at athletes and what we expect them to be, and in many ways don't even expect ourselves to be.